everyone, Miss Carrie here from Miss Carrie's Creations. Today I'm sharing a scrapbook page all about me for the Not Just for Boys Kit Club monthly challenge. I can't wait to share this project with you. I'm working with the National Scrapbook Day mini kit from Not Just for Boys Kit Club. This lovely kit comes with cardstock, pattern papers, stickers, sequins, and instructions to create multiple layouts. I'm going to be creating my very first layout about me today, so I brought in this additional cardstock cut title that says Beautiful Chaos, which fits my life perfectly. On this page, I want to create a collage of images and phrases, so I've grabbed a few stamps from the Not Just for Boys collection. I'll show you some fun ways to use these on your page. As I create this layout, I'll bring in a few other items from the Not Just for Boys shop. In the description below, there is a link to this kit and a list of all the supplies I'm using today. I'm going to create a diagonal design today with a photo on the left and random images reflecting my personality along the edge. At the top of the page, I want to use this adorable camera pattern, and then I'll place my photo onto some cardstock, which I had left over from another Not Just for Boys kit. Below the photo, I have placed a little journal card that I cut out from the back of the camera paper. The icons I'm going to use are going to be placed along the diagonal, so I want to create some textures behind these. If you follow me online or you've met me personally, you know that I have a slight addiction to coffee, so I thought that I would bring in a few coffee rings to the page. These are the containers that the embellishments come in from the Not Just for Boys Kit Club shop, so I'm going to try to create my coffee rings with this. I am using a mixed media paper for this. I did try the technique on some regular cardstock, and the ink soaked into the cardstock and spread all over the place. The mixed media paper is a heavier bodied paper designed for mixed media, particularly wet media, so it's going to hold the shapes of these circles a little better. Once I have all of those stamped, I'm going to bring in a paintbrush and add some pools of color and splatters. I'm just going to lightly tap my brush and let that ink drop over the edges of the rings. I'm going to go ahead and finish adding these splatters with both the ink colors, and while this dries, I'll work on my embellishments. I want to bring in some circle shapes that match the coffee ring shapes, but I also want to add a little bit of color and some grounding points. The packaging material from Not Just for Boys is designed to be reused. On the back of these, you will find some tags, phrases, shapes, and images, but I want to use the grid lines as the background for my circles. After I stamp these, I can just cut them out with a die. I'm also going to stamp some gingham-like circles in a red color. I created some flowers from the pattern paper in the kit, and they are similar in color to this ink. I'm just going to bring more of that color to the page and add these as anchors for my embellishments. The last thing I want to stamp is my journal card. I have brought in some phrases from 2 stamp sets to add to this card. Now, I have to admit that I really struggled taking a photo of myself and creating a page about me, so adding journaling to the page was going to be another task that I really didn't want to try to conquer today. Instead, I chose words that my husband and kids use to describe me. I chose both a typeset and script font for these. I'm going to be adding some phrase stickers to the page that are more of a typeset font, and the title I chose is a script font. So combining the two on this journal card is going to help pull them all together. As I finish stamping a few more of these words onto the background, I would love it if you tap that subscribe button and let me know in the comments that you're new here. If you're already a subscriber, let me know that you're enjoying this video by tapping that little thumbs up icon or leaving a comment below. I would really love to know if you are inspired to try to create a page about yourself today also. Alright, now that all my stamping is complete, I'm going to cut out the circles using some dies and assemble my page. Across the diagonal, I added some ribbon. This is the same color as some of the other items I'm adding, and it creates a nice grounding point for all of the stickers that I'm going to add. Behind my photo, I have some cardstock from previous kits, and I cut apart some of the journal cards and stitched everything together. I am adding some stickers and die cut flowers across the diagonal that represent my personality. All the sticker images that I'm using are included in the INSD kit. There are some wonderful little icons in there that could be used for many different types of pages. I chose some books, a computer, florals, cameras, potted plants, and a bluebird. I also created some flowers from the pattern papers in the kit and some cardstock. These were cut with dies and distressed with a sanding disc. If you decide to join the monthly challenge and create a page about yourself, collection pages like this are fun to create. They are a bit random and messy, but so is life, which makes it a great adventure. The coffee cups were, of course, the first set of images that I knew that I wanted to use. Coffee is one of those comfort items in my everyday life that I need to have. I remember my grandmother always walking around with a cup of coffee, and there are some fond memories associated with that. I'm also a gardener and a plant lover. Every house we've moved to has a set of flowers from a previous home because I always pull up my favorites and replant them. One of my sons has also taken up a love of plants. He has an Etsy shop where he sells magical terrariums that he creates, and they are so cute. Within the items, I have also added books. I enjoy reading the classics and prefer mystery novels that have multiple red herrings. The computer and camera are part of my everyday life as a creator, which is something that I truly enjoy. So of course I needed to add those to the lineup. One of the final pieces that I added in there was a bluebird. Now I always try to make sure that there is a bluebird in almost every room of our house. This is something that's near and dear to my heart, and there is a story behind it, but that's for another day. Alright, so all those little icons are tucked down with the stamped circles around them. It really does feel a bit chaotic, but that's the feeling I wanted to give this page. Now I want to complete that title, which is appropriately labeled Beautiful Chaos. All I did was quickly swish those watercolors over the two titles, and then I'm going to bring in some paper towel to remove some of the moisture. Because this is not a mixed media paper or watercolor paper, I do want to remove as much moisture as possible and let it dry a moment before I add any more layers of color. If I add more layers while it's wet, the paper will pile, and I don't want that. When I add my second layer, it is going to make the color a little bit more intense. Watercolors always dry lighter, and I wanted these to stand out on my page. Alright, I'm going to let this dry, add it to my page, and then I'll show you the finished layout. Off camera, I adhered the title to the page. I also added some more elements above the title to create almost a third point of the visual triangle. Around my items, I added two little acrylic arrows. These are currently in the Not Just for Boys shop, and they match this month's kit beautifully. I also sprinkled some of the sequins from the kit around the page. Now you're going to notice that I also distressed some of those stickers. Because this has such a random, chaotic look, I did want to create almost an aged look or distressed look to all of the stickers, so I just took a sanding disc and ran it over the top. The challenge for this month was to create a page about yourself, and I thought that this was a great way to celebrate International Scrapbooking Day. As uncomfortable as it was, I'm glad that I took on the challenge and have something in my albums with a photo on it that shares some passions in life. It is a bit random, chaotic, and messy, but that has been my life theme for many, many, many years. If you're one who enjoys pinning photos to inspiration boards, I have added still shots of this layout on the Not Just for Boys Kit Club blog and on my website for you to use. If you would like more ideas for using this kit, you can join the Not Just for Boys Kit Club community on Facebook and see even more designs. I want to thank you for joining me for another scrapbook project. If you have any questions about the project or the supplies listed below, feel free to post that in the comments. I hope that you have a wonderful week, and I can't wait to see what you create.